بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين أجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We start, Alhamdulillah, the third session on Jurisprudential Rules, al-Qawa'id al-Fiqhiyyah. The first two sessions we studied Qa'idatul la tu'ad. Today we want to study two rules which are very connected, and some people have claimed that they are actually one rule. Qa'idatul Tajawuz and Qa'idatul al-Faraagh. So inshallah we start this discussion. Maybe it takes two sessions, but we will see. As I think I gave you example just to prepare your mind before we go to the book. Both of them are about a person who doubts in wudu or in salat, but then inshallah we will discuss whether it can be extended to other acts of worship. But initially, this is about doubting in wuzu and salat. Sometimes you are in the middle of salat or middle of wuzu, and you doubt about a part which has already passed. For example, you doubt about qira'ah and you are in ruku, or you doubt about ruku and you are in sujud, or you doubt about sujud, you are in tashahhud. You doubt whether you have performed that part or not, or whether you have performed it properly or not. Okay? For example, you say, was my qira'ah okay? Did I pronounce properly or not? Or sometimes you say, did I recite surah or not, for example? Did I recite hamd or not? So, Qa'idatul Tajawuz means if you have already passed one part and entered into the next part, or one of the next parts, maybe for example, you have doubt in hamd after you are in sujud, even it's not ruku, it can be after two parts. Anyway, when you doubt after passing one part and entering a next part, Qa'idatul Tajawuz says you ignore your doubt. Okay? Of course, with respect to wuzu, we have exception. With respect to wudu, we have a hadith that says Qa'idatul Tajawuz would not be applicable to wudu. Then we have Qa'idatul Faraagh. Faraagh, as you can guess, it comes from Faraagh. إذا فرغت فإذا فرغت فانصب. When you complete, when you finish. When someone graduates, in Arabic we say takharraja, we say kharrij for graduate, but in Farsi we say faragh tahsil, which is of course Arabic, but we say in Farsi faragh tahsil means he finished his study. So Faraagh means to finish. Okay? We have also, for example, Awqatul Faraagh. the time that you have nothing to do and it's just your leisure time. We say awqatul faragh. Faraghat means you are free, you have nothing to do. Qa'idatul Faraagh is about a person who doubts in an act of worship or part of act of worship after finishing it completely. It's not in the middle, okay? Afterwards. For example, you have finished Salat al-Zuhr and now you start doubting. Did I do my Salat al-Zuhr properly? Not that you doubt whether you said your Salat al-Zuhr. You know that you have said your Salat al-Zuhr. Okay? But you don't know whether you did it properly or not. This is called Qa'idatul Faraagh. Is it clear? So we have two qa'idah. Qa'idatul Tajawuz, for someone who doubts in the middle of ibadah, act of worship. Or it can, inshallah, we will discuss later, whether it can be extended to mu'amalat as well, not only ibadat. Yeah? For example, after you purchase something and you left the shop, if you doubt whether, for example, you paid or not, you know, things like this. So, من القواعد المهمة التي يستفيد منها الفقيه. I am not, of course, reading everything because it takes a long time. Just some important parts. One of the important rules that faqih يستفيد منها, benefits from it كثيرا, a lot. A very practical, very useful rule is the rule of Faraagh and the rule of Tajawuz. Qa'idat al-Faraagh means qa'idatan. Because of idafa, noon is dropped. Qa'idat al-Faraagh wa Tajawuz. وَقَدْ جَرَتْ عَادَةُ الْأَعْلَامِ. The habit of a'lam. A'lam is great scholars, the stars, like those who are like, flags, ala jam'ihima bil bahth. The habit of ulama is that they put these two qaida together and discuss them together. في مورد واحد للتقارب الشديد بينهما, because they are very similar to each other, very close to each other. Even some have said they are actually one rule. So we have to discuss few things. One is مضمون القاعدتين. What is the content of these two rules? What do they say? Madrakul qa'idatain. What is the argument? It's the proof. Third, qa'idatan or qa'ida wahida. Are they two rules or one rule? Fourth, umumul qa'idatain li ghayr as-salat wal wudu. Do they include other things in addition to salat and wudu? Do they include other acts of worship or, for example, even mu'amalat? Point 5. Istithna'ul wudu min qa'idat al-Tajawuz. Wudu is an exception. If you doubt in the middle of wudu about a previous part, you go back and do it. For example, you are doing your left hand, washing your left hand, you doubt whether you washed the right hand or not. You go and do it. Wuzu has kind of a specific rule because we have hadith, so it's an exception. Of course, for Faraagh, no problem. But it is about tajawuz inside the wudu. هل يعتبر الدخول في الغير? Is it necessary for executing, for implementing these rules, that you actually enter the next part, or finishing the previous part, or finishing salat is, for example, enough. For qa'idat al-Tajawuz, entering new thing. For qa'idat al-Faraagh, finishing and then starting something. Or as soon as you finish salat and you doubt, you can say faraghtu min as-salat. So is it needed that you start doing something else or not? Number 7, mal muradu min al-ghayr. What is ghayr? If it is needed to enter something else, what is that thing that can be considered as the other? And then about ihtimalul iltifat. Is it necessary as a condition that the person who doubts believes that he was probably aware and conscious? So is being aware and conscious needed? For example, I have finished my wuzu, okay, and then I doubt whether I have washed my left hand properly or not, okay? Or for example, I have a ring. Did I, for example, make sure that water goes inside? For example, I removed my ring or moved it or not? Some people may say you must be thinking that possibly you were attentive to this issue. But if something is there that you are sure that you were not attentive, and you say maybe automatically was done correctly. For example, maybe there is something on your, for example, hand, and you think maybe this obstacle, I was aware and removed it. Maybe I didn't remove it. Something that you are not sure you had noticed it. So some ulama say qa'idat al-Tajawuz and qa'idat al-Faraagh are conditional upon the possibility, the likelihood that you were aware and conscious. But if something was not noticed at all, no. Okay? So ihtimalul iltifat is mentioned as a condition by some people. And then there are some applications, some examples. So these are 9 things that will be discussed, inshallah. So let's first talk about madhmunul qa'idatain. The first 2 things are easier. Madhmunul qa'idatain wa madrakul qa'idatain. What is their content and what is the proof? Tatbiqat. Some applications, yes.
How can you say he was not conscious when he was doing the
Pardon?
How can he not be conscious when he's doing Jamaat? How can it happen that somebody is doing something without being conscious?
So something that you were not aware. You were not aware that this thing was there. If you are sure that you were not aware. Mm-hmm. So for example, you see something on your hand, mm-hmm. and you are sure that you were not aware because you had not noticed before.
I see.
Yeah. Okay. So first, madhmun al-qa'idatain. Let's first see what is the content of these 2 rules. You have this title in English?
It is the meaning of 2 maxims.
Yes. There is a discussion here about what is the content or meaning of these 2 rules. And Sheikh Irvani says, some ulama have said, like Sheikh Na'ini. Sheikh Na'ini, as you know, was a student of Akhund Khurasani Rahmatullah Alayh, and was a teacher of Ayatollah Khouyi and that generation. So Ayatollah Khouyi has أجود التقريرات, which is the taqrirat of Ayatollah Naini. So, because he was attending his lectures, and this is a habit that ulama write the notes from the Dars Kharij of their teachers. So Sheikh al-Naini had the idea that Qa'idatul Faraagh is when you have doubt about validity of the whole action. You have said your salat and you have doubt about it. Please remember this. According to Sheikh Naini, the question is Sihhatul Kull, validity of the whole salat. Why? Because Qa'idatul Faraagh is not about doubt whether you have said salat or not. If you have doubt whether you said salat al-zuhr or not, you cannot use Qa'idatul Faraagh. Qa'idatul Faraagh is for someone who knows that he has brought salat, but he doubts its validity, whether it was proper or not. So Sheikh Naini, rahmatullah alayh, says Qa'idatul Faraagh nadhiratun ila shak fi sihhatil kull. But Qa'idatul Tajawuz is about doubt in a previous part after entering new part. Very straightforward. What he says is very good, very clear, and very straightforward. For example, after entering sujood, you doubt about ruku. Okay? Is it clear? Mirza Naini is very straightforward. And he says, هذا ما ذهب إليه جمع من الأعلام. Some of great scholars have also the same idea like Mirza Naini. But the late Ayatollah Khoui has another view. So he disagrees with his teacher. He says, the one who is saying his prayer sometimes doubts in the validity of what he has done while he is sure that he has done something. So, aslul fi'l is not doubted. Sihhatul fi'l. Okay? So, he knows he has done something, but he is not sure whether he has done it properly in a valid way or not. And he says this doesn't make difference whether it is the whole thing or part of it. And sometimes he doubts in bringing the action. So, if he knows that he has done it, whether it is part of it or all of it, and doubts the validity, we assume that it is valid because the doubt comes afterward. And this is Qa'idatul Faraagh. So for Ayatollah Khoui, Qa'idatul Faraagh is also used in the middle of Salat, when you know that you have done the previous one, but you doubt it was valid or not. And when you doubt whether you have brought it or not, this is Qa'idatul Tajawuz, and it can only be used when it is in the middle. Do you know why? When it comes to doubting validity, you can apply Qa'idatul Faraagh, whether it's for juz or kull, part or whole. But when it comes to the doubt about whether you have done it at all or not, it can only be used for the part. Because if it is for the whole thing, then you have to bring it. Okay? So, Ayatollah Khuyi Rahmatullah Alayh is trying to extend Qa'idatul Faraagh to the doubt inside the action, but when the doubt is about validity. The result is not different. The result is the same.
It's still Tajawuz.
Pardon?
It is still Tajawuz. But
Yeah. But he wants to say Tajawuz is when you know you have done it. Tajawuz means you have gone beyond that part or action, whatever it is. But if you doubt whether you have done or not, it's not Tajawuz.
So then what is that?
Pardon?
So what is the name for that? If you doubt if you have done it or not?
If it is Tajawuz, but in the middle, not afterwards. If it's in the middle, okay, you can say it's Tajawuz. But if it's afterwards, so you don't have any basis. You know, if you are in ruku and you doubt whether you said qira'ah or not, okay, now you have something. You have ruku. You are in the middle of salat. So you can say, I assume I have done it.
Okay.
But if you have doubt about the entire salat, then you cannot say, I assume I have done salat. Okay?
Could you compare Shakir Badawi?
Pardon?
We've been studying so far, Shakir Badawi.
Yeah, it's like a Badawi. Yeah. Because in this Shakir Badawi, because you don't know whether you have done salat or not. So, according to the view of Mirza Na'ini Rahmatullah Alayhi and many ulama, Qa'idatul Tajawuz is only for middle, and Qa'idatul Faraagh is for after the action, the whole action. In the middle, Tajawuz, after the whole action, Faraagh. According to Ayatollah Khuyi, the difference between them is not whether you are in middle or after. The difference is whether you doubt the validity of action or you doubt whether you have done anything at all, that action at all. Okay? If you doubt validity for both part and whole, you can say, I ignore my doubt. Okay? But if it is for the very existence of the action, aslul fi'l, then you cannot ignore your doubt when it's about the whole thing. You can only ignore it when it is about a part which has passed.
Sheikh, this do not include arkan al-salah, right? If I doubt my ruku', it's not this is not applicable.
It's
right?
applicable.
Because arkan al-salah, if I miss it, even forgettably,
But you don't know that you have missed it. If you know that you have missed it, yes, but you don't know. You have doubt.
the hukum is
So you are in sujood and you doubt about ruku. Doubt. So you assume you have done it.
You assume you've done.
So what if I haven't done it? Because the hukum is
Yes.
even
You don't know.
forgettably,
You don't know. If you know, yes, but if you don't know, so you assume you have done it. Because you have entered a new action, a new part. Okay. So this is about a difference between the meaning of Qa'idatul Tajawuz and Qa'idatul Faraagh according to late Ayatollah Khuyi and Ayatollah Na'ini Rahmatullah. Let's study the proof. This makes you more familiar with these rules. Madrakul Qa'idatain. What is the proof for these two rules? He says, when you reflect on the hadith, on the narrations that we have, you find some of them are about doubting the action, some of them are about doubting validity of the action. Is it clear? Some about doubting the action, means asl al-fi'l. Have I done it or not? Some is about did I do it properly or not? About sihhatul fi'l.
Validity of
With-
action, what do you
pardon?
mean validity? We know it is valid, it is important to do the rukn, so how can you doubt the validity?
So you are not sure whether you did it properly or not. For example, you are in ruku, then you say, did I say waladhdallin properly or not? You have doubt.
That's a validity.
Yeah. You don't doubt you recited. You know you recited, no doubt.
Yes.
But validity of recitation. Was it properly or not?
Recited it properly.
Yeah. So, first about doubting the existence of the action. فمن النحو الأول صحيحة زرارة. Zurara says, قلت لأبي عبد الله عليه السلام. I told Imam Sadiq عليه السلام. رجل شك في الأذان وقد دخل في الإقامة.
Allah Akbar.
A person who has doubted about adhan while he is in iqama. What does it mean? It means he has gone to the next action. قال يمضي. Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says he carries on. Okay? What does it mean he carries on? Means doesn't go back and ignores the doubt. قلت رجل شك في الأذان والإقامة وقد كبر. Someone has said takbiratul ihram, but now is doubting about adhan and iqamah. One of them or both of them, he doubts. قال يمضي.
Continues.
He carries on. قال رجل شك في التكبير وقد قرأ. Someone doubts about takbiratul ihram. So he has done his qira'ah, but now he's doubting about takbiratul ihram. قال يمضي. Imam said carries on. قلت رجل شك في القراءة وقد ركع. Someone who is in ruku, has done ruku, doubting qira'ah. قال يمضي. قلت شك في الركوع وقد سجد. So he asked all these things one by one.
Very clever.
قال يمضي على صلاته. Imam said he carries on his prayer. Then Imam alayhi salam gave him a rule. ثم قال يا زرارة إذا خرجت من شيء ثم دخلت في غيره فشكك ليس بشيء. This is a rule, a general rule. إذا خرجت من شيء, when you have come out of something, means you have passed it. You have come out of it, means you have passed it. And entered other action. Okay? Your doubt is not important. ليس بشيء. Your doubt is nothing. So, if you doubt about any part after entering the next part,
Ignore it.
ignore it. Is it clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sheikh Irvani wants to say that this hadith is about doubting the action. Okay? Not validity. But I think it can be for both. You know, when he says shakka fil adhan, it doesn't necessarily mean he has doubt whether he said adhan or not. It can be shakka fil adhan in the sense of shakka fi annahu adhan am la, or shakka fi sihhat. It seems it can be both.
Reading it properly as well.
Yes. Do you accept?
Yes.
It says shakka, for example, for ruku. Shakka for ruku means he has doubted about ruku has been performed at all or about validity of ruku. It seems to me that the hadith is general,
Yes.
but he wants to use it for aslul fi'l, doubting aslul fi'l. وبمضمونها صحيحة إسماعيل ibn Jabir. In addition to this Sahihiyya Zurare, and in the footnote he also mentions the names of the narrators of hadith. Okay? And says Sheikh Tusi بإسناده عن أحمد بن محمد عن أحمد بن محمد بن أبي نصر البزنطي عن حماد بن عيسى عن حريز بن عبد الله عن زرارة.
I think these names
All
are
these
not
people
in the
are
English
reliable.
translation.
Pardon?
These names are not in the English translation.
Yes, in the Arabic.
In the Arabic.
Anyway, this is Sahiha. This is authentic hadith. The second hadith is again authentic, Sahiha. Ismail ibn Jabir. Ismail ibn Jabir, if you want the full text, is Sa'ad and Ahmad ibn Muhammad and Abih and Abdullah ibn al-Mughayra and Ismail ibn Jabir. He quotes from Imam Baqir alayhi salam. The exact text is this. إن شك في الركوع بعدما سجده فليمض. If he doubts in ruku after sajda, he carries on. He must carry on. وإن شك في السجود بعدما قام. And if he doubts about sujud after he has stood up, فليمض. He should carry on. And then as a rule, كل شيء شك فيه مما قد جاوزه ودخل في غيره فليمض عليه. Everything that he doubts about it and he has passed it and has entered في غيره in another action, فَلْيَمْضِ عَلَيْهِ. He should carry on. So, this is again قاعدة التجاوز. You have done something, or you are not sure whether you have done it. So either you have not done it, or you doubt, or you doubt the validity. In my view, this can be for both. Yeah? But Sheikh Irvani wants to say this is for doubting whether you have done or not. The second type of hadith for doubting the validity. موثقة محمد بن مسلم عن أبي جعفر عليه السلام. This is muwathaqa, this is not sahiha. Because in the chain of narrator, we have Abdullah ibn Bukair. Abdullah ibn Bukair was Fatahi. And his aqidah was not correct, but he was a thiqah, he was a reliable person. So we accept the hadith, although technically this is not sahiha. Because Sahiha is all of the narrators should be known to be Imami and Adil. These are technical, classifications. Otherwise, he's a reliable person and we accept the hadith. So, موثقة محمد بن مسلم عن أبي جعفر عليه السلام قال كل ما شككت فيه مما قد مضى فَمْضِهِ كَمَا هُوَ. Whatever you doubt فيه, about it, مما قد مضى, something that has gone, has passed. So it shows that the doubt is about validity, because you know that it has gone, means you know that you have done it. فَامْضِهِ كَمَا هُوَ, leave it as it is, carry on, don't go back. Okay? We have also Sahihatu Muhammad ibn Muslim and Abi Ja'far. كل ما شككت فيه بعدما تفرغ من صلاتك فامضه ولا تعد ولا تعد. Also you can say ولا تعد or ولا تعد. I translate both of them. كل ما شككت فيه, whatever you have doubted after finishing your salat, you have completed your salat, you make a doubt. فَمْضِ, carry on. وَلَا تَعُدْ, do not return, or لَا تُعِدْ, do not repeat. لَا تَعُدْ, do not return, or لَا تُعِدْ, do not repeat. As you see, this is very clear, it's about Faraagh, because after salat. This is not about middle of salat. The previous ones are for middle or general. كلما شككت فيه مما قد مضى فامضه, this is general. But for example, كل شيء شك فيه مما قد جاوزه ودخل في غيره seems to be more about middle. So these hadiths, as you see, give us an impression that whether it is in the middle of salat or after salat, if you have doubt about something that its time has passed, it's expired, you have entered into new thing, you don't, act upon your doubt, you ignore your doubt. There is also another Sahihah of Muhammad ibn Muslim, and it is very similar. Then there is Muwaththaqatu Bukayr ibn A'yan. Okay? And he says, Bukayr ibn A'yan has been reported that when Imam Sadiq alayhi salam received the news of his death, said, Ama wallah laqad anzalahu Allahu bayna Rasulillahi wa Amir al-Mu'mineen. When Imam Sadiq heard the death of this Bukayr, said, Allah has put him in front of Rasulullah and Amir al-Mu'mineen. Anyway, this hadith has a problem.
Front or bayna, like their level. It sounds
not in the middle of them.
bayna sounds like level wise. He was with them.
Means in front of them. Because when say bayna Rasulullah wa Amir al-Mu'mineen, it doesn't mean between them.
No, I don't mean that as well. I mean,
It means in front of them.
Like I am bayna my colleagues, like we are in same.
Yeah, means close, but not in between, and not in their level. Means in front of them. Means he's not far from them. But this hadith is mudmara because it doesn't mention the name of who was asked, the imam who was asked. Anyway, it's muwathaqa. Ar-rajul, he says, qultu lahu. I don't know, we don't know which imam, It says, qultu lahu. Ar-rajul yashukku ba'dama yatawadda'. A person doubts after he makes wuzu. قال, we don't know exactly whom, but because someone very high caliber has mentioned this, it must be from Imam. هو حين يتوضأ أذكر منه حين يشك. When he was making wudu, he was more mindful, more conscious than now. Because when you are in the middle of action, you are more, conscious. Now you may forget. So we assume that when he was making wuzu, he did it properly. Because at that time you are more conscious, more mindful. Yeah? Otherwise, it will become very difficult because we forget things, and then if you want to repeat them again and again, it becomes very difficult. هو حين يتوضأ أذكر منه حين يشك. When he was making his wudu, he was more mindful, he was remembering more conscious than when he is doubting, which is after finishing wudu. Sheikh Irvani says these are the most important hadiths about Qa'idiyya Tajawuz and Qa'idiyya Faraagh. But there are also other hadiths, many hadiths. يوجد غيرها كثير. But these are the most important ones. Some people have tried also mention other arguments. For example, they said there is tasalumul fuqaha, like ijma, means fuqaha have practically agreed on this. Or asalatus sihah. They wanted to use asalatus sihah fi fi'l al-Muslim here. Means for your own action also you do asalatus sihah, for example. Some people have said we use the qa'idiyya nafyul usra wal haraj, because life should not become miserable and difficult, extremely difficult. But he says these are controversial, and the main thing are the hadiths that we have specifically about Qa'idiyya Faraagh and Qa'idiyya Tajawuz. So using asalatus sihah or nafyul usra wal haraj or tasalumul fuqaha is not very strong according to Sheikh Irvani. The main thing are these hadiths, and as you saw, either they are sahih or muwaththaqah. Yes.
What does asalatus sihah mean?
We assume that the action of a Muslim is valid unless proved otherwise. For example, a woman has slaughtered a goat, a sheep. You are not 100% sure that he has done it properly. But as-salatus sihah says when you buy it or take it from a Muslim hand, that's correct. The next question is, are these one rule or two rules? Qa'idatul Tajawuz and Qa'idatul Faraagh can be merged and combined. So we say we have one rule. Whenever you doubt about something which has passed, you ignore the doubt, or we have to divide it into two rules. So he says there are three opinions here. And this is for today, I think enough. If you listen to these three things. One is the idea of Sheikh al-Ansari rahmatullah alayh, as we call al-Sheikh al-A'zam, Sheikh al-Ansari rahmatullah alayh, in his Rasail, Fara'id al-Usul, when he talks about Qa'idiyya Faraagh and Tajawuz, he says these two go back to one thing. Some ulama have said they both go back to one thing, which is Qa'idiyya Tajawuz, or go back to one thing, which is Qa'idiyya Faraagh. But Sheikh Ansari said they go back to one thing different from them. He wants to find something common between them. And what he says is this. He says, ترجعان إلى التعبد بشيء واحد. Both of these rules can be reduced to one point, and that is التعبد بوجود العمل الصحيح. We, out of our deep sense of obedience, so as an act of obedience, we assume that valid action has happened. وجود العمل الصحيح, existence of valid action. He has merged them. So it means existence and validity, both of them, he have merged them, said وجود العمل الصحيح. So whether you doubt wujud or you doubt validity, it means you are doubting wujud al-amal al-sahih. And he calls this kanaya tammah. Are you familiar with kanaya tammah and kanaya naqisah? In Nahv, we discuss kanaya tammah, kanaya naqisah.
Remind us.
Yes. We use this then in philosophy, in usul many times. Kana has two types. Kana sometimes is fi'l tam and it has fa'il. Kana Zaydun, okay, means Zayd was existing. It has fa'il. Sometimes it's naqisah, has ism and khabar, like Sara, Laysa. This is naqisah. We have af'al naqisah. So kana sometimes is naqisah. Kana Zaydun qa'iman. Kana Zaydun jalisan. This is called kanaya naqisah. Kanaya tammah informs us about existence or non-existence. If it is affirmative, existence. If it says ma kana Zaydun or lam yakun Zaydun, this is non-existence. Kanaya naqisah informs us about something having some predicate. Kana Zaydun qa'iman. The question is not existence of Zayd. The question is Zayd having qiyam. You understand the difference? Kana Zaydun qa'iman. The question is not about existence of Zayd. It's about Zayd having condition of qiyam. This is called kanaya naqisah. So, kanaya tammah is about existence. Kanaya naqisah is about having a quality, having a condition, having a predicate. Okay? So, Shaykh A'zam Ansari rahmatullah alayh had the idea that we have one rule. Qa'idiyya Tajawuz and Qa'idiyya al-Faraagh are not two separate rules. One rule, and the focus is wujudul amal as-sahih as kanaya tammah. Not about whether this action was sahih or not. A sahih, a valid action has happened or not. You see, he is very clever here. He wants to include both types of doubt in one formula. Whether you doubt you have done ruku or not, or you doubt whether your ruku was valid or not. So you have doubt about wujudul amal as-sahih. This is the idea of Sheikh Ansari. Then we have the idea of Mirzaya Naini rahmatullah alayh. And he focuses on validity of the action. He says the core of these two rules is validity. Sihhatul amal. So he merges Qa'idiyya Tajawuz in Qa'idiyya Faraagh. And then we have opinion of other ulama like Ayatollah Khuwi, that they focus on wujudul amal, and therefore they merge Qa'idiyya al-Faraagh in Qa'idiyya al-Tajawuz. So there are three types of opinions. Because the time is over, inshallah we continue on Wednesday. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Yes.